There's no way that bump is real.
Pretty face car on 10. Body right, got her looking. My type, total spin that thing. I like what I like. Ask him what he like about me. Body so petite, make him right about me. Claiming that he love me, gon' do right by me. I'm the baddest in the room, none in sight like me.
I don't understand what all those bumps on the belly are.
Just when you thought the Meghan Markle drama couldn't get any more bizarre, a truly shocking video has surfaced, and Megyn Kelly is leading the charge in absolutely destroying it. We're talking about never-before-seen footage of Meghan herself, twerking in a hospital room alongside Prince Harry, supposedly just hours before she gave birth to their daughter, Lilibet. Megyn Kelly's reaction was immediate and, predictably, brutal, arguing it showed a profound lack of respect.
Is disrespectful to the child, to like the sanctity of what goes on for any humans who are actually in that situation.
Now, this video that Megyn herself reportedly dropped on Instagram is indeed 4 years old. It shows her, heavily pregnant in a hospital gown, twerking while Harry awkwardly looks on, supposedly hours before Lilibet's birth. So, beyond Megyn Kelly's strong view that it's disrespectful, the big question is, why on earth would Megyn post this now? The timing has everyone talking, and the dominant theory, voiced by commentators like Stubergear, is that this isn't some spontaneous, fun share. Instead, many see it as yet another calculated and frankly clumsy public relations move, a desperate attempt to humanize herself and appear more relatable to a public that has largely turned against her after so many misfires.
She's in a PR firm meeting. Someone said, we need to humanize you. Find some fun moments, post them, and everyone will like you.
The problem with these kinds of orchestrated relatability campaigns is that they often stink of desperation and inauthenticity from a mile away. You can't just manufacture genuine connection or force people to see you as fun and down-to-earth, especially when your past actions and public persona scream the opposite. As Stubergear points out, these attempts usually feel incredibly fake and often leave people wondering what on earth they were thinking.
Can't manufacture that stuff, right? It feels fake. I don't understand why they would think something like that would work.
Megyn Kelly takes this idea a step further, suggesting that underlying these PR misfires is a deep-seated, almost desperate need Megyn has for public adoration. According to Kelly, Megyn craves love and approval so badly that she'll try almost anything to get it, but her methods are often misguided and ultimately ineffective because she fundamentally doesn't understand how to genuinely connect with people.
She needs us to love her, so she will do whatever it takes, and she doesn't know how to make us love her.
But beyond a failed PR move, many argue this video crosses a line into blatant disrespect for sacred moments and royal decorum. Megyn Kelly certainly felt it crossed that line, arguing forcefully, as we heard in her initial reaction, that the hospital twerking profoundly disrespected the sanctity of childbirth. But the perceived disrespect doesn't stop there, especially when commentators start comparing Megyn's actions to established royal expectations and the legacy of figures like Princess Diana. Kinsey Schofield offers a particularly sharp and imaginative take on how Prince Harry's own mother might have viewed such a display.
Diana's somewhere in heaven throwing her iPhone saying, my marriage may have been a mess, but at least I didn't twerk.
That vivid imagery really throws into stark relief the vast difference between traditional royal conduct and the kind of public antics Megyn is frequently accused of. Schofield elaborates on this, suggesting that true royal women don't need to resort to eyebrow-raising dances or online stunts to capture attention. Their dignity and presence are enough. This implies Megyn's choices stem from a different, less dignified motivation, perhaps a constant craving for the spotlight regardless of the setting.
Royal women don't need to dance for attention. They command it quietly, elegantly.
This apparent need for continuous, and often inappropriate, attention is seen by critics like Schofield as symptomatic of a broader disregard Megyn has shown for the institution she married into. The argument is that instead of approaching royal customs and traditions with the respect, curiosity, or even basic care one might expect, Megyn simply dismissed them as outdated. In doing so, she overlooked, or perhaps deliberately ignored, a fundamental truth. In that specific royal role, tradition isn't just some old-fashioned suggestion, it is the responsibility.
She didn't approach royal customs with curiosity or care. She dismissed them, forgetting that the tradition is the responsibility.
The layers of perceived disrespect deepen significantly when you consider the name of the child whose imminent birth was the backdrop for this twerking video, Lilibet. Kinsey Schofield points out the profound irony, and what many see as a deep offense, in Megyn using Queen Elizabeth's intensely personal childhood nickname for her daughter. To then associate that name with such a controversial, and in the eyes of many, undignified public display like the hospital video is seen as a fundamental failure to respect not just the late queen, but the institution and the very name she chose to hijack.
You've hijacked this name from Queen Elizabeth. The least you can do is respect this woman, respect her institution, respect her name.
One can only imagine, as Schofield prompts, how Queen Elizabeth herself, a monarch who symbolized unwavering dignity and quiet duty for over 7 decades, might have felt. Seeing her deeply personal and historic nickname linked to what Schofield colorfully calls a humping around video in a hospital setting is a jarring thought for many, and it fuels the accusations of profound disrespect towards the Queen's memory and everything she stood for.
I would be so angry if I was Queen Elizabeth. My name was somehow attached to her humping around video.
The disrespect arguments are strong, but Megyn Kelly then dropped an even more controversial bombshell about the video itself, questioning everything we thought we saw. Megyn Kelly didn't just target Meghan's judgment or sense of decorum. She aimed her skepticism squarely at the most startling aspect of the footage, going on to question the very authenticity of Meghan's pregnant belly as seen in the twerking video. Kelly urged her audience to scrutinize the clip closely, suggesting something was seriously and visibly off with its appearance.
That belly looks abnormal. That it looks very strange. It looks like there's like a bag or like some sort of something shoved up under a dress.
Kelly then elaborated on her deeply suspicious observations, providing a more detailed description of why she found the belly's appearance so peculiar and unconvincing from her perspective. She described it not as a natural pregnant form, but as something oddly shaped, strangely bumpy, and looking decidedly artificial, even comparing it to a rather crude homemade contraption. These are, needless to say, incredibly provocative claims that have ignited a whole new level of debate and wild speculation online.
It does not look like a pregnant belly. It looks all bumpy. It's very strange. It looks like what you get if you put like a pillowcase under your dress.
Adding another layer to her skepticism, Megyn Kelly, drawing on her own experience as a mother of 3, also pointed out what she perceived as a telling lack of standard medical equipment. She specifically questioned why Meghan didn't appear to be hooked up to any of the usual hospital monitors one would expect for a woman supposedly just hours away from giving birth, which are critical for tracking the baby and mother's vitals. This observation further fueled her doubts about the entire scene depicted in the video and its authenticity.
They don't give you like remote monitors on your belly. All the monitors they stick on you are connected to the thing that's right next to your hospital bed. And she wasn't wired up at all.
These are explosive claims from Megyn Kelly, whether you believe them or not. It adds another layer to why this video is causing such an uproar and damaging Meghan's already shaky credibility. Stunts like the hospital twerking video, compounded by such deeply controversial allegations, do little to build public trust and instead seem to accelerate the erosion of her already shaky credibility. Kinsey Schofield argues that this all stems from a fundamental desire Meghan had for the status, without understanding or accepting the inherent duties.
She wanted the crown, but didn't want to carry the weight. So now she's shaking what's left of her credibility, and honey, it's not bouncing back.
This constant shaking of her credibility, as Schofield puts it, isn't just about isolated incidents. It's also linked to a strategy of overexposure. In the relentless quest to stay relevant and control her image, Meghan seems to reveal almost everything, or at least a curated version of everything. But this tactic, Schofield warns, has a significant downside. It strips away any sense of mystique, turning a public figure into mere background noise that people eventually tune out.
Here's the thing. When you reveal everything, you lose your mystique. You become noise. People don't pay attention.
This transformation into noise, combined with her controversial actions and a seemingly endless stream of self-focused content, leads to serious accusations that she's devaluing the very royal connections she still clings to. Kinsey Schofield argues that Meghan and Harry are, in effect, dragging their royal titles through the mud of influencer hell, complete with the hashtags and cringe-worthy humble brags that characterize that world, diminishing the dignity of their titles with every questionable post and project.
Until Harry and Meghan are stripped of their royal titles, they will continue to drag it into influencer hell with hashtags and humble brag.
It's this perceived misuse of a once respected platform that draws so much backlash. Schofield contends that if Meghan had any genuine respect for the institution she married into, she would cease treating it like her personal content farm. The royal family, according to this view, provided her with an incredible global platform, one built on centuries of tradition and service, and she, in turn, has morphed it into a chaotic and often undignified circus tent.
And if she had any respect for the institution she married into, she'd stop using it like a content farm.
So, when viewed through this lens of diminishing credibility and a descent into influencer-style antics, the hospital twerking video takes on another layer of criticism. For commentators like Kinsey Schofield, it wasn't just an ill-advised dance, it was another public act of shaking loose what little class and decorum Meghan had left, further cementing her image as someone far removed from the dignity expected of her previous royal role.
Meghan wasn't twerking, she was shaking loose what little class she had left.
It seems every move is a misstep. But is there a pattern to this chaos? especially when it comes to her infamous need for privacy. One of the most glaring and consistently criticized aspects of Meghan Markle's public life is what many call the privacy paradox. She and Harry famously cited the intense media scrutiny and a desire for privacy as primary reasons for stepping down as senior royals. Yet, as critics relentlessly point out, their actions since then seem to scream the exact opposite, with a continuous stream of public pronouncements, media projects, and PR stunts often suspiciously timed around significant royal family events.
Left the royal family for privacy, but manages to time every PR move around royal milestones like it's her job.
This perceived hypocrisy is a major source of public frustration. Many believe privacy was never the real goal for them, just an excuse to pursue fame on their own terms by constantly orchestrating media moments like this twerking video. And for critics like Megyn Kelly, this latest stunt isn't just an isolated PR blunder. It's just another example of a deeper, problematic pattern of behavior she's allegedly exhibited for years, which Kelly is quick to call out.
She's reportedly bullied virtually everybody who's ever worked for her. She's obsessed with her own ego and playing the victim.
So, after this latest self-inflicted PR disaster with the hospital twerking video, and considering Meghan Markle's extensive track record of controversial moves, the big question is, can she ever truly humanize herself in the public eye or repair her image? Megyn Kelly, for one, seems deeply skeptical that any attempt, no matter how calculated, can actually work at this point. She believes the damage might be too extensive and the public too wary.
No amount of humanizing videos, even if she managed to find one, are going to work.
Kelly's harsh verdict stems from the consistent fallout from incidents like this twerking video. What was likely intended as a fun or relatable moment has instead been widely condemned by critics as deeply disrespectful to a sacred moment, a display of appallingly poor judgment, and another example of a failed PR stunt that reeked of inauthenticity. When you add in the explosive allegations questioning the very reality of what was shown, it's easy to see why so many believe her credibility is in tatters. Each of these missteps just seems to dig the hole deeper. Ultimately, it's incredibly difficult to change a deeply entrenched negative public perception, especially when the controversial actions aren't isolated incidents, but appear to be part of a consistent pattern. The public has a long memory, and once trust and goodwill are lost, winning them back requires a level of sustained, genuine change that, so far, many feel Meghan Markle has been unwilling or unable to demonstrate. It's a tough road back from being the subject of constant criticism and mockery. After this shocking, hospital twerking video and Megyn Kelly's brutal takedown, do you think Meghan Markle has done irreparable damage to her image? Is there anything she can do to win back public favor? Or is it too late? Share your thoughts below.